Right, welcome back. Let's get into today's trending topics on social media. All right, so let's start with our first one, which is...
Sure.
Oh,
Sure.
man, this is how I woke up this morning. Now, so
Yeah.
and this is not how, and I'm sure this is how people went to sleep, and the people that were there, this is how they were traumatized. So here's the video of what went down at the Lakeside Mall, and it's not a pretty sight at all in terms of what happened. So there was a big burglary that took place. I think 15 armed gunmen,
A robbery.
and AK-47s and the likes, and this is them escaping.
Well, so they went in, took what they wanted to take,
Yeah.
and this is capturing the escape. And as you can see, there's a smaller bag that they do get in, but ultimately that big purple bag remains behind.
Yeah.
So they were unable to get that into any of the vehicles, and one of the guys ultimately ends up jumping into the boot of one of the cars, and that's how they sped off.
Yeah.
But I think the thing here is just how under siege South Africans feel. You can look at these guys all brandishing weapons, you know, and I don't know how much more of this the country is supposed to take.
It's frightening. It is frightening. I mean, this is the outside footage. Now, there are a whole bunch of videos doing the rounds that people had filmed inside the mall of the shootout, the actual gunfire that was taking place inside, and how devastated they are. They just felt that it was just so scary that these guys were armed with, as we said, AK-47s and pistols. They came in 3 vehicles. They stole clothes. I don't know if it was money. This all took place in about 15 minutes, apparently. And
15 minutes is a long time.
It went crazy, just crazy inside that
Okay.
mall. And no one knows, they can't
Where
find
was
them.
the response in 15 minutes?
15 minutes.
15 minutes is a very long time.
In a closed shopping center.
And they still managed to get away.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking the other day, was it Monday, Tuesday? We were talking about the Uvalde situation in the United States, where that footage emerged of how the shooting went down in that school, in that primary school. And the police chief has had to resign over that because they took so long
To respond.
to actually restrain the gunman. It took more than an hour, and here in a mall, 15 minutes and no response. I mean, you can look at how these guys are getting away. Where are the police? Where's security?
And eyewitnesses are saying that these guys were, when you see them firing shots, this was just random shots. They were just shooting at anybody. I mean, it's just, where are we living? It is traumatized. We live in a traumatized country. I mean, you just, from one moment to the next, you're running into the shop to go and buy something, and you are a victim. A victim whether you get out alive, A, or B, you are scarred for life for having to lie on a floor to try and dodge bullets of an AK-47 and perhaps shielding your child. It's just devastating. But yeah, this is it. Every day we are reporting on these. But you know what's happening? We're reporting on them now. They happen all the time. They happen every single day. But we don't report on crime anymore, because if we had to, we would be a 24-hour news crime channel. That's what we've been.
We've literally become desensitized to a very large extent to the levels of crime that we find ourselves living in. We've even become desensitized to something as heinous as murder, because it has become, you know, such a common occurrence. It's commonplace. We've just adapted to it. And again, this is abnormal.
No,
there's nothing normal about this. It is abnormal, and we are normalizing this abnormal situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, and all of us do. I mean, I've been a victim of crime myself. I mean, I've been tied up in my home with a gun at the back of my head, and I've had to work many years to get over that. I have been at a coffee shop where guys have come in, and I'm talking 10, 15 years ago, where guys have come in, AK-47s, opened fire, and my best friend was shot. She doesn't live here anymore. But, you know, these are the stories that I've got. This is not normal, that people have stories like this.
And this is the thing.
Stories like this that we need to rehabilitate to get over, and to still show our commitment to stay here and make this place work. And yet, who's showing commitment to protect the people of this country?
But that's the thing. And right now, you if you live in South Africa and you've not been a victim of crime, I don't know, you are the exception to the rule. And as you say, each one of us has some traumatic experience that you've been through. You know, I remember working at a certain place, and these people came in on a Friday, again, shooting random. They shot their way into the office building, and, you know, crawling around on the floor, just totally, you know, fear-stricken. I even remember what I was wearing on that day. It was that bad.
You take it with you everywhere
you go.
Take it
but
with you.
this is where we live.
We're having a psychology session here, because this is how we feel. It really is. Let's race through these. Nathi Mthethwa. Okay, I think Bonang had another go at the minister. Nathi Mthethwa, I think he came out and said something. I'm trying to find
about Banyana.
Oh,
he was basically expressing his pride at how well our girls have done. Here's what he said: "It is with a deep sense of pride that I congratulate Banyana Warriors on clinching a spot in the finals of the Women's African Cup of Nations after defeating Zambia in the semi-final. Your victory is a historic moment for women's football in South Africa." And then
Bonang just came and said, what, pay them? I think it's simple as that. I think that's what she said. She's like, we'll pay them. If they're so great, show them the money. And I mean, that was kind of, in a nutshell, that was the response.
Please, these girls deserve money.
Open your wallet. Akere, you want an orchestra? Question mark. So damn useless, resign. There you go.
Okay, boom.
Nathi
and Bonang again.
Okay, Will Smith trending too. Sorry, I jumped Arthur Fraser, but let me
go to Will Smith.
Let's go through Will Smith. Sorry, we're rushing through because I know we've got a guest that's waiting. Well, I mean, people, a lot of us, and I say us because a lot of people wrote off Will Smith and said Will Smith is over. His career may just be on the line after what happened at the Oscars. Well, here's the story. Will Smith will be paid $35 million for the thriller Emancipation. This is the highest upfront salary reported this year. So this is a big thing for him. So yeah, getting the biggest paycheck this year. And we'll see what happens. So that's Will Smith. So he ain't going nowhere. He's getting lots of money for a movie that's coming up, Emancipation.
Imagine that. No doubting his talent, though, and not unexpected.
Not at all.
All right, the final one, Arthur Fraser. So, Arthur, is this about him saying that he was thrown under the bus or inconvenienced, or?
I think so. There are a lot of things around Arthur Fraser, and Arthur Fraser's not going to go around. He's one of those figures. I mean, he's said a lot. He's done a lot, and a lot of people are speaking about him. So whichever way you look at it.
Basically saying he's ending the president's career.
There you go. There you go. And it's just something. I mean, this was obviously, it's the back of Phala Phala. I think there was someone who was speaking about him as well. Was it Blade and Monday? I'm not too sure, but somebody was also speaking.
Well, Blade did speak about him last week at the SACP Congress,
Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. Those are a quick wrap on the trending topics, but there is still lots coming up on the show, and this is the question of the day.
Well, the Reserve Bank is expected to raise interest rates again today. What sacrifices are you making to cope with the ever-increasing cost of living? Let us know at Morning Live SABC.
All right, let's take a break here on the program, and when we return, we're talking about the race for leadership in KZN. That'll be under the spotlight, and Sakina taking on that one. She'll be joined by public policy and political science analyst Dr. Fikile Vilekazi to talk about this topic. Stay tuned.